for joining us today. We are extremely thankful that we are doing this event in the states for the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat today, and welcome you all. So we are expecting some more participants to join us from different parts of the country now. And while we wait, let's break some ice and let's do a poll. So what you'll see next on your screens is a poll. Um, these poll questions will help us know how much you know about FFE since you've been part of this family for a very long time now. So please go on and fill this poll, which you are now viewing on your screen, and you can go ahead and answer these questions. Some of you have been part of FFE for a very long time now, and I'm sure you know a lot of these questions already. Thank you very much for all those who have answered the poll questions. And we will be sharing the answers of these poll questions in a while. So good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to all of you once again. Virtual event, Gujarat and Maharashtra. We are very thankful for all the stakeholders who are joining us today from various parts of the country today, our donors, our scholars, facilitators, and alumni. Thank you so much for joining us. We're extremely thankful that you took out time and are spending this evening with us for our virtual open housing event, which the last year we used to do physically, that this year due to the pandemic we are not able to perform, and that's why we are doing the series of these virtual events. And precisely the reason why we are doing this event is so that our scholars know that we are still connected with them, and we are very delighted to have with us today our scholars, facilitators, alumni, and donors. I see some of the donors have already joined us in the panelist section. Good evening, Ms. Wahini. Thank you for joining us. We'll be seeing some more donors join us today and some more scholars. Around 800 scholars are expected to join us from these two states. So thank you very much once again. And before we move ahead with the first agenda of the evening, I would like to share the poll results with you. And can we have the poll results, please? I think it's taking some time. No problem. So we can share those results a little bit later. Let's begin with today's session. And to begin our today's evening, I would like to call Ms. Sudha Kidao, who is the Managing Trustee of Foundation for Excellence India Trust. Dr. Sidao has been volunteering for FFE for more than a decade, first in the US and from 2010 in India, beginning with establishment of FFE's first office in Bangalore. Welcome, Dr. Sudha Kidao, and over to you.
Thank you, Tanvi. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you. I think we are expecting close to 800 participants. It's a record for FFE. Thank you all for joining us, those who have so far, our students, our alumni, our volunteers, our donors, and our guests. Welcome to our virtual open house. Today we have students attending colleges specifically in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So welcome in the time of travel restrictions because of COVID. I'm sorry we're not able to meet you, but yet we are virtually. What a wonderful opportunity and silver lining to these terrible times of the pandemic. It's such an honor to have you all part of this event. Next slide, please. I want to take this opportunity to just highlight a few important points about the Foundation for Excellence. I'd like to talk to you about the history. This organization was started by a very successful, gifted Indian engineer. His name is Dr. Prabhu Goel, and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goel, started the Foundation for Excellence in 1994. You will hear more about Dr. Goel and his educational background very shortly, and you'll also get a message from him. Basically, Dr. Goel was very successful when he was quite young, and he and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goel, decided that they would give a significant part of their wealth to help others who are less gifted and who needed additional help. So the Foundation for Excellence was started in the year 1994 in the US. It was always meant to support students through scholarships in India. And that process, and students in India who got the scholarships became successful and wanted to give back to the foundation. And that's how the Foundation for Excellence India Trust started in India. And the first donations to the Foundation for Excellence India Trust began with our alumni who contributed generously to the foundation. And today we have a significant number of alumni who continue to fund the scholarship program and other programs of the trust. A big milestone, we've supported over 23,000 students from the last 25, 26 years since the foundation started. Next slide, please. I want to let you know that we are supported, our work is supported by a very strong board in India, the FFE Board of Trustees. That includes Dr. Rishi Krishnan, who's a director of IIM Bangalore, Ms. Smita Uttarwar, Mr. Venk Shukla, who's a very successful entrepreneur, and Mr. Arun Kumar, who's the CEO and chairman of KPMG India. We are delighted to have such eminent personalities on our board, and we work very closely with the board of FFE USA. Next slide, please. How are we doing in these two states where you all come from? So last year, FFE was able to award a large number of scholarships, of course, to Gujarat, 569 scholarships.
Online program,
and we awarded over 2.3 crores in scholarships to students in Gujarat alone during the last year. Please, the previous slide, please. Yes. Look at the gender distribution here. We have a smaller number of women who got scholarships in Gujarat, but we also find that we have a large number of students in MBBS in Gujarat. Now, this is quite different from the FFE average, which is usually 80% are engineering students, 20% are medical students, 80% are men, 20% are women. So going on to the next slide, you'll see a big difference between Gujarat and Maharashtra. You'll see here that there are a larger number of women getting scholarships from FFE from Maharashtra. We're delighted to see this. And I hope in Gujarat, that trend will change and we'll see more women scholarship recipients. By course, you can see that in Maharashtra, we have a good distribution of students, less than 50%, however, in engineering, which is not the trend in the rest of India. Large number of students in MBBS. We have students in integrated MTech, in law, as well as in Bee Farm. And as you all know, these are two new programs that we launched in our 25th year of the foundation, our Silver Jubilee year, where we started awarding scholarships to students in Bee Farm and law. Last year, we awarded over 2.2 crores in scholarships to students in Maharashtra, almost 492 scholarships. Fantastic. Both these states have one of the largest number of scholarship awardees in India. Congratulations to all of you scholars. One very important point I want to make is FFE is not just about scholarships. We want to make a difference so that you all can succeed when you all graduate. And how are we doing this? And how are we different from other scholarship programs? FFE provides skills training program for all the engineering students. And we want all of you to take advantage of this opportunity that we are providing. It is funded by the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation and most recently by Capgemini. We hope we can provide similar programs to medical students and to students in Bee Farm. Law students, we've created a special mentoring program, which we've launched this year. We also have this mentoring program extended to engineering students, where we are pairing students to industry experts in the best corporates who are our sponsors as well. And law students have been paired to lawyer mentors. It's such a wonderful opportunity. We want you all to take advantage of this. Besides skilling and training, we are helping students get placed by working with our corporate sponsors who are willing to take all of you bright students who've done very well with the skills that help you get those best jobs and opportunities that you always looked for. And we hope this training will also help those of you who want to become entrepreneurs. Some of you want to join the civil services. We hope this training, extra training, will help you there. And we'll do our very best to get you internships wherever and whenever that is possible. So we want to do for you all more than just giving you a scholarship grant. So please make use of every opportunity that FFE is providing. Next slide, please. The circle of giving is a very important component of FFE and is important for FFE to survive, not just survive, but flourish the next several decades. And I say this because of the circle of giving. We are confident that this will happen because all of you, after you graduate, we would like you all to honor your pledge where you can support the education of more scholars like you through a donation to the foundation. And I'm really, really proud of our alumni who have today contributed significantly. As you can see on the slide, alumni alone have contributed over 4.5 crores over the last 25 years. And all of them have worked relentlessly to make these donations possible. Last year alone, we have got donations of over 1 crore from over 1,500 of our alumni. We are so thankful that you are really honoring your pledge of giving. And we hope you will contribute to FFE beyond financial means by becoming mentors, by becoming volunteer facilitators, and by connecting us to the companies where you work. So you can see the indirect amount of 3.5 crores was raised by alumni telling their networks about the foundation, telling the companies where they work about the foundation, and those companies contributing. And I'm really proud today that our keynote speaker is a special invited guest, well, not really a guest, a very special alumnus of the Foundation for Excellence, Mr. Gaurang Shah, who will be addressing all of you shortly. And I'm delighted that we will hear from him. Next slide, please. This is the team that makes all of our work possible. I'm really grateful for all of our team members, 26 of them. Most of them are in Bangalore. We have a couple of them outside. Tanvi, who's hosting it, is from Dehradun, and we have Taruna, who is in Jaipur. But this team works throughout the year to make sure your scholarships come to you on time. And I want to thank all of them. The finance team, the training and the mentoring team, the alumni team, the donor relations team, the scholarship team, our technology consultant, and finally our general admin, who make all of our programs possible and successful. Thank you all. And we have happening this evening. I'll like to pass it on to Tanvi.
Thank you so much, Sudha. I think that was a wonderful presentation, and most of you must have got the answers that we had posted on the poll. So moving on, I would just request the students to use the Q&A box that you can see at the bottom of your screens. It's very important for you to know that we'll be taking a Q&A session after this event, and we'll be taking up a lot of queries from you all about your scholarships or any challenges that you're facing during these times. So please use the Q&A box, post your questions there. We'll be taking them after we finish with the formal session. And let's move on. So today, not only do we have our stakeholders joining us from various parts of the country, but we also have a very special message coming straight from US from our founder, Dr. Prabhu Goel. Dr. Prabhu Goel is an IIT Kanpur alumnus and the recipient of the President's Gold Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. Goel received a PhD in electrical engineering from Carnegie Mellon University. He and his wife, Mrs. Poonam Goel, established the Foundation for Excellence in 1994. Dr. Goel started his career with the management and technical positions at IBM, and over time he has served on the board of directors of many private and public companies. Let us now listen to Dr. Prabhu Goel's message.
Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be able to welcome you all to this FFE Open House. In particular, I want to welcome our scholars, our alumni, our facilitators, the FFE management team, our guests, and our esteemed donors. A very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you. I want to convey a few messages in this video. It will be short. First, to the scholars. These are difficult times indeed. COVID is not easy to deal with under any circumstances. To have to complete your education in an environment where you cannot be at school in person is even harder, with or without online courses. I know that our scholars can overcome these challenges. And why do I have this confidence? The reason I have this confidence is you, because you have shown in the past that you can overcome any odds to be successful. To get to where you are today, you did indeed overcome insurmountable odds. I congratulate you for that, and I wish you all the best for your continuing efforts and success. To the alumni that are present today, I want to remind you to continue your connections with FFE as you move forward in life, and do not forget to help others who have not been as fortunate as yourselves. Help them achieve and overcome the same obstacles that you had to face in your lives. For all our scholars, alumni or current scholars, keep upskilling yourself. The more valuable you are to the world around you, the more valuable you become to yourself. Continue to develop new skills. Make yourself more valuable. To our current scholars, we have a lot of online programs at FFE that we offer for upskilling. Online courses for soft skills. We have technical courses that we use to supplement your college education. And we have supplemental courses in things like Python, etc., that are available to you. So please do take advantage of them and make them enhance your value. To the facilitators that are out there today, we could not have been where we are today in terms of connecting with the scholars had it not been for you. And you do this as volunteers. We're very grateful to you for that. And finally, to our esteemed donors, this entire effort that we go through, this entire organization would not be possible without your financial support and generosity. The fact that you come back and support us year after year is what keeps us going, what keeps our scholars going, and what allows us to be successful. Thank you so, so very much. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope we all come out of it learning a lot more on how to address the challenges of the future. Thank you all.
That was Dr. Prabhu Goyal, always inspiring us with his motivating messages. And talking about motivation, we have another motivating speaker with us today. Sudha is already introduced. We have with us our alumni, donor, and a well-wisher, Mr. Gaurang Shah, who's joining us live from Pune. Gaurang is currently working as a senior system software manager at NVIDIA Graphics and leads a group of teams who build a world-class gaming experience. He's a native of Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He completed his engineering in information and technology in the year 2003 from TDIT, Nadiad. He's also a certified financial planner. And in his own words, and I quote, "My journey has been one of a dreamer with tremendous self-belief, focused hard work, and of course, a very fortunate aspect of it was to receive huge assistance and timely support by FFE to help achieve my dreams." Over to you, Gaurang, and we are very happy to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord Tanvi, for very nice introduction. Feeling pretty humbled and privileged to be here talking to all of you. We are more than 780 I see on the participants list, right? That's huge. And thanks all of you for coming and joining on this event. So Dr. Prabhu Goyal, I just quote him, we heard him. He talked a very important aspect about upscaling, right? And we know we have been and we are going through a very difficult, challenging time of our life, right? No one was prepared for this situation. I understand a lot of you scholars, students who have been struggling, not able to attend your colleges in person, maybe struggling to get your first job. Some of you might be in your last year, right? And you were supposed to join your first job, but maybe delayed. So there's a lot of difficult time which we're going through. And, but at the same time, right, we know with the challenge, there is also an opportunity. That comes an opportunity which we need to discover and take best use of it, right? So I want to talk to you, to scholars mainly. I would like to share some of my experience. I would like to share a few tips which I believe may be helpful to you going forward in your career. So first thing which we must realize that we all have been fortunate. We are here. We have been being assisted by FFE. That means we have something in ourselves. Right? Not everyone is chosen. We are the chosen ones. And why? Because we have something. We have a skill. We have an aim, a dream, and that's why we are here. Because we want to make difference in our life, in our family's life, and we want to achieve something greater. And we have been doing despite all of the challenges in our life, right? I understand all of us must be coming from a very difficult background. Many of you coming from a very remote locations, lack of infrastructure, lack of facilities, it's still here. You all are going to achieve a significant milestone in your life, becoming an engineer, a doctor, and more than that in future. So what do we do, right? How do we succeed? We are already proven that yes, we can do it, we can achieve it. You're already there. What makes you get a next step, right? What makes you become even greater? So I want to talk to you about three things which I feel I have experienced myself. I have seen from close ranks of my friends, colleagues, and some of the greats, Dr. Prabhu Goyal, and few legends, right? What is common factor? What is the success mean for them? What they do to achieve them? I'm sure you all will be also aspiring for the same. And let me know after the session. You can have questions for me, for the panel, and we'll be happy to answer that. So what are those things? First, very, very important is to dream, aim for the high, right? We have a saying in Gujarati, I would just like to quote, very apt at this situation, Nishan chuk maaf, nahi maaf, nichu nishan. We always, it's good to aim for high and let fail at that, but never aim very low and achieve it, right? Everyone can do it, but we are different. We are special. So let's aim very high. Let's shoot for that. If we shoot for stars, we'll land at moon, right? So aim high, dream very big, whatever background we are coming from. I never imagined in my life that I would be at this stage, I would be even doing the engineering. I never imagined that. But I had just a belief. I want to be something great, right? I want to be a little different than everyone else. I want to do something greater for my family, for myself. That belief is what keeps all of us going and aiming for that greatness. That's really going to make a difference because you're going to find a way to achieve that. If you do not have a dream, right, you'll not be able to channelize all your energies in one particular direction. So have a dream, have a aim, what you really want to shoot, what you really want to be in life. How do we there? Having a dream is not sufficient, right? Every one of us may build a dream, but how do we reach there? It's important as well. Find a way to scale yourself, and at this particular level in your career, it's very important, it's super important to build a unique skills. You know that if you are in a computer science or if you are in a medical field, not everyone is as successful as few others. And why? Because they make sure they utilize their time to build a very specific knowledge, a very specific skill. How to do that? It's very simple, actually. If you ask me, you have to spend some time, allocate certain hours every week, and spend some time learning what you feel passionate about, what really motivates you, what really you doing, enjoy doing it. Maybe if you are in a non-computer science field, take up a course in Python, take up a course in programming, and spend a couple of hours a week, build that very specific knowledge. You'll stand out from the rest of the group, right? If you are in a medical field, maybe I'm not expert there, but maybe find out something which really motivates you. Pick up a hobby, pick up a passion, and go after that and achieve it, and keep repeating it. Some of the passion will take years, months to get expertise at, but once you reach there, you are going to be standing out in the crowd, right? So second is find a ways, spend time. There is no alternate to the hard work. All of us know. So you have to take out time and dedicate that towards your passion. So once first have a dream. Second, go behind it. Try to achieve that. And what is the last one? Once you reach at this stage, it's very important to share your knowledge, help others in your vicinity as well. The best way to learn is to teach. So once you start sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience with others, with your friends, with your juniors in future, really helps you to make it even perfect. And I'm talking about the mentoring program now, which FFE has built, right? That's really great platform which Foundation has provided about the mentoring. So this is more for the scholars. Please opt for it, try it out. It's really going to help you a lot. At the same time, this is also a great opportunity for the alumni, and I also recommend very highly to opt for it. Give it a try. You're really going to like it. It's a win-win situation, not for the alumni only, but also for scholars. Scholars going to learn from your experience, all the alumni there. You have done really good in your career. Why not help others to bring up, right? What your problems we faced in our early career time. I wish I had a mentor who could have helped me going through the challenging time, helping me in very small things, let's say how to prepare good for the interviews. My personal experience on mentoring we just completed last month, and it has been really great. And it's really delightful to hear the good feedback from the scholars themselves when they come and tell us it really helped. Like our session was very helpful. He was more confident going into the interviews. He felt more confidence after each session. It's really a great feeling, does it? So please go and take up and sign up for the mentoring program as well. So that's what I would like to convey to all of you. And the last thing for the alumni is, as you saw, a great numbers Dr. Sudha uh, shared about. That's about circle of giving. So we all alumni have a certain responsibility to contribute and keep this program going on. And circle of giving is the best part of it. We contribute in whatever capacity we could. We also try to influence and encourage our colleagues, our friends to contribute to the FFE. It's also for scholars who are going to be successful after a couple of years in your life, in a career. And when you feel you're in good position, please try to give it back to the foundation. And that's how this circle of giving will continue. More and more people will benefit. And that's really up to all of us, alumni, scholars, to keep this program a very, very effective, the foundation's activities to keep it going. So try that out, and please look into the mentoring program as well. And hope all of you doing good in this time. That's where I would like to conclude my my speech. Tanvi, over to you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Gaurang. That was such an inspirational message, and I think you have told in very few words the gist of how to get successful in life, and that's for all of us. Thank you so much, and it is our biggest reward to see our scholars like you touching heights and helping us continue with our cycle of giving. That's the biggest reward. So thank you so much once again. And we are very fortunate to be backed by a team of highly motivated and dedicated facilitators who have been helping FFE through their tireless efforts for many years. Even during these tough times of pandemic, they're helping us with whichever way they can, and we cannot thank them enough for their service. We have with us today one of our facilitators from Pune, Mr. Santosh Baban Rao Nalavade, who's been actively involved with FFA for a very long time. Welcome, sir. And can we have his video, please?
Good evening, all. I'm Santosh Nalavade here from a village near to Sangli city in Maharashtra. I'm working as an admin, finance, and human resource manager in Volante Technologies India Private Limited, Pune. It's very nice to have a virtual meeting so as to interact with each other and get the update on FFP front. First of all, I say thank you very much to FFP for providing the platform to economically weaker, bright and needy students to complete their high studies. It is just not a matter of scholarship. It's a family shelter to those students who have missed their way if FFP will not be there in their life. This way, FFP is strengthening India's future in better way. I am very proud to be part of FFP by reaching out to the students and filtering them as per the criteria. I am associated with this organization from 2012 when FFP coordinator Mr. Appa Madivale from US has referred me as a facilitator. It is very easy to students and parents to reach me out, as I normally available on weekdays in Pune and on weekends in Sangli city. Most of the times I personally engage, encourage and guide the students as a parent to keep them on the track. I am very grateful to FFP to give me this opportunity to complete the dreams of the students. One request to FFP, if possible, every year try to felicitate and appreciate our facilitator to encourage their good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we are thankful to each one of our facilitators who are in fact the backbone of our organization. And close to 40 of them are joining us from Gujarat and Maharashtra today. I would like to name them and extend my very warm welcome to all of you. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan Radhakishan Sharma, Mr. Bhatt Chaudhary R, Mr. Sri Krishna Somavanshi Vishnu, Mr. Suresh Lahoti, Mr. Mohammad Khorakiwala, Mr. Niranjan Kamdar, Mr. Muralidhar Jisnani, Mr. Kishore Mendulkar, Mr. Arun Kumar Patil, Mr. Dheeraj Patil, Ms. Jayashree Kale, Mr. Mahesh Ravindra, Mr. Sadanand Nayak, Dr. Somnath Tukaram, Mr. Ganesh Wagle, Mr. Santosh Baban Rao, who you just heard, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Mr. Ramdas Padmavar, Mr. Ramakant Thote, Mr. Gopal Agarwal, and from Gujarat also we have our facilitators joining us, Mr. Purushottam Patel, Mr. Nagendra Prakash Gajjar, Mr. Manish Vagasia, Ms. Narutvi Gajendra Bhai Mitri, Mr. Punita Smart, Mr. Indravandan Kashmira Gajjar, Mr. Dhiren Patel, Mr. Hemant Chandrakant, Mr. Vinay Pandya, Dr. Manish Barwalia, Badodaria Purushottamji, Mr. Gordon Bhai Rabadia, Mr. Atmadi Swami, Mr. Nathanla Dubaria, Mr. Shobhana Ben Goswami, Mr. Anupam Prakash Bhai Joshi, Mr. Anil Pansuria, Mr. Dushyant Gosai, Mr. Jagdish Patel, and Ms. Vibhuti Shukla. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we are very thankful for all that you're doing for FFE and FFE scholars. Today, we are also recognizing some of our facilitators from Gujarat and Maharashtra, and I would request all of you to please join me in congratulating them and cheer for them by sending your messages on the chat box as their names are being called out. I would now like Dr. Sudha to please take over.
Thank you, Tanvi. It is my absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure to welcome all of you facilitators and want to thank you for all that you do for the Foundation for Excellence as volunteers. Your dedication, your commitment, and the honorary role that you play is very deeply appreciated. While as an organization, all we are able to say is a deep felt thank you. I would like on this occasion to specially honor a few of our facilitators who are here with us today. And what we would like to do is award them a certificate of appreciation for their dedicated services to the Foundation for Excellence. I'd like to start by the certificate to Mrs. Meda Rohit Desai from Gujarat. Mr. Jagdish Patel, again from Gujarat, Mr. Anil Pansuria, Mr. Nathalal Dubaria, and Mr. Nilesh Parekh, all from Gujarat. Thank you very much for all that you do for the Foundation for Excellence. And now to honor about 7 wonderful facilitators from Maharashtra, I'd like to start with Mr. Ganesh Wagle, Dr. Somnath Tukaram Salgar, Mr. Mahesh Shindikar, Mr. Bhata Chowdhury, Mr. Arun Kumar Patil, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan Radhakishan Sharma, and Mr. Santosh Baban Rao Nalawade. Thank you all for all your services, for everything that you do for the Foundation for Excellence, for your commitment. To also quickly thank a few of our sponsors, our donors who are here with us today. That includes Mrs. Vahini Malhotra from KPMG, Mrs. Anjali Devakar from Ingersoll Rand, and Ms. Darshana Balel from Fractal Analytics. Thank you very much for your support of the Foundation for Excellence, all that you do to make the scholarship program and all the supporting programs possible. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sudha. And we have a few donors who are not in the panelists today, but they are sitting amongst the attendees. Mrs. Smith,
hello.
We welcome you too. Thank you for being associated with FFE for such a long time. It's been a pleasure to have you here with us today. And may I now request all the panelists and all the facilitators to please switch on your videos for a minute for everybody to see the faces behind those names. And thank you all. Can I please request all of you to please switch on your videos? All the panelists, please.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Dobaria speaking from Rajkot, Gujarat.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Please convey my best wishes to all the participants and hope that they will perform highest in the next year program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
We have your blessings with us, and with all the scholars, of course, they can always go back to their facilitators for any problems not just a scholarship related, but any life problems as well. And you've always been there for
Because
us.
as a facilitator, I am working since 21 years.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, and we are only 25 years old, and we have facilitators working with us for over 20 years, and that's, I think, is our biggest achievement. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Coming up next is a video message from FFE scholar Rishikesh Mankar, who's currently pursuing his BTech.
It is my request. Please hear me. Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Please hear me. When you are sending a new program for the current year,
Sir, we are going
when
to
you
start.
are sending,
Yes, sir.
when you are sending a scholarship program for the current year.
We are going to start it October,
Hello.
sir, mid of October. October 15th, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes. We will communicate this to you, sir, in advance. October 15th is when
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
going to reopen new applications.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Shubha, I would request you to please play this video from our scholar Rishikesh Mankar.
Pardon?
Myself, Rishikesh Mankar. I'm third year civil engineering student from VNIT Nagpur. I am from a very small village, Hingna Balapur. My father is farmer and my mother is housewife. I have scored 93% in 10th standard and 92.8% in 12th standard. I was regional topper in mathematics in 12th board. I am involved in many co-curricular activities in my college, like I am the part of official literary club and I am also holding the position of responsibility of training and placement coordinator of my department. I got to know about FFE from my teachers. I want to thank FFE and team FFE, and I also want to thank my donor AU Foundation, and I also want to thank my facilitator Ramaro sir who supported me a lot. I assure FFE that I'll contribute in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh. We have another video message from FFE scholar Varsha Jadhav, who is currently doing her MBBS from Government Medical College, Aurangabad. Can we have Varsha's video, please?
Good evening everyone. My name is Varsha Ramdas Jadhav. I am a third year MBBS student at Government Medical College, Aurangabad, Maharashtra. My father is a farmer and my mother is a housewife. I got 92% in 10th and 85% in 12th. Then I appeared for NEET 2017 and secured 535 marks in it. I got to know about FFE from my facilitator, Mr. Suresh Lahoti sir, and now I am a part of FFE from last 3 years. FFE gave me the financial support which helped me to overcome my financial needs. My dream is to be a dermatologist, and once I settle, I want to be a part of FFE and contribute to FFE. I would like to thank FFE's team and my donor, TransUnion Civil Limited, and finally, I would like to thank my facilitator, Mr. Suresh Lahoti sir, for his guidance and support. Thank you very much, Team FFE.
Thank you, Varsha. And we have more than 750 scholars joining us today who are studying in the colleges of Gujarat and Maharashtra. We have some more videos that we have received from our scholars. But before that, we would like our scholars to participate in another poll that is up on your screen now. This is an important one since it will help us answer a lot of your queries that we will be taking up during the Q&A session. So please go ahead and fill your answers for this poll. And we, as you all know, that the scholarship renewals have started at FFE. The applications are now open. Some of you have already started filling the applications, but we are awaiting more students to fill their applications. And we've also extended the timelines for filling the applications this year. We'll give you some more information about the scholarships during our Q&A session, where you can ask direct questions related to your queries about documents and the submission of your what kind of documents you're supposed to submit this year. It will all help us collate this information and make this process simpler and easier for you, considering that we all are facing unprecedented circumstances this year. Right. So,
Tanvi, we'll just give it another minute.
Okay.
We're just getting the results. Just another minute.
Sure. Please go ahead and fill this form.
I would like to take this opportunity to also thank a very special donor who's with us this evening, Ms. Smita Shroff, who's joined us from Mumbai. It's wonderful to have you here. You've been a long-time supporter of FFE. It's a privilege that you could join this evening. So thank you, Ms. Smita Shroff.
Yes, and we are actually very fortunate. We have a lot of donors as well as scholars from these two states. And this is the 8th in the series of virtual events that we've been conducting since June. And we have seen extremely great participation from all the states, but Gujarat and Maharashtra being such states where we have maximum number of scholars, it's heartening to see that more than 775 participants are joining us today for this event. So thank you so much once again. We have another video from our scholar, and I would like to tell you that in the past few years, we have realized that there is a need for scholarship programs like this, not just in engineering and medicine, but in various other streams. And FFE has taken an initiative and started a law program and a pharma program as well from 2019. We have a video message coming from a student from our law cohort, the first law cohort, Mayur Anantakishore Dongre. Can we have his message, please?
My name is Mayur Dongre, second year student of BLB of ILS Law College, Pune. My father is a farmer, my mother is a housewife, and I have a younger brother who is in 11th class. I scored 90% in my 10th class and scored 75% in my 12th class. Regarding my extracurricular activities, I am part of my college cricket team and actively participate in moot courts. Moot courts means designing the courts as the actual one and introducing the case in front of judges as a lawyer. I got to know about FFE from one of my lecturers, and FFE is helping me through my college expenses. On the behalf of thousands of students, I would like to thank FFE and FFE team. I would also like to thank my donor, Mahesh Krishnamurthy sir, and finally like to thank my facilitator, Jayashree Kale ma'am, for her support and guidance. Once settled, will help and support the FFE.
Thank you, Mayur. And of the videos that we have received from our scholars for this evening, the last video is coming from Nishant Singh. He's a BTech student from IIT Surat. And can we have his video, please?
Hello everyone, I am Nishant Singh. I am doing Electronics and Communication Engineering from Indian Institute of Information Technology, Surat, Gujarat. My father is farmer and my mother is housewife. I have twin sisters. I scored 9.4 CGPA in 10 and 83% in 12th standard. And I appeared for G and scored a good rank. It was not easy for my family to support all the expenses of my studies, and then I got to know about FFE scholarship. FFE has helped me and my family a lot in managing all the expenses of my studies. Talking about other things apart from studies, I am basically a graphics designer, and I am a graphic designer in most of the clubs in my college. I also love to play badminton. I would like to thank FFE and FFE team, and finally I would like to thank my facilitator Viswanath Nigam sir for his guidance and support throughout the journey. I will definitely come back and contribute to FFE in helping needy students like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishant. And this event won't be complete without us recognizing our alumni who have joined us today for this event. We have a lovely message coming from one of our alumni, Mr. Ganesh Wagle, who is also a donor and a facilitator. So welcome, Ganesh Wagle, sir.
Hello everyone, I'm Ganesh Wagle, FFE scholar, graduated in 2005 from KJ Somaiya College, Mumbai. I'm working as a product developer with VMware Pune. FFE scholarship enabled me to complete my education without any hassles because my father was working at a local grocery shop back then. After completing my engineering, I went for further studies. I completed MTech from IIT Bombay. From last 3 years, I'm working as a facilitator for FFE as well. I would like to urge our current students that they should really imbibe the importance of circle of giving. Also a request to all our alumni to start contributing as much as they can, because together we can make it possible and build a bright future for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ganesh Wagle. That was short and sweet. And with this, we have also come to the end of today's session. On behalf of the board and the management and team at FFE, I would like to thank each one of you for being with us today. And this event was made possible only because of you. And thank you so much for showing this great support to all of us. Sincere thanks to Ms. Smita Shroff, Ms. Darshana from Fractal, Ms. Anjali from Ingersoll Rand, Ms. Vahini from KPMG, and Ms. Irina from TransUnion Sybil for joining us today and spending their valuable time with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Gaurang, for sharing our inspirational journey with all FFE scholars and with all of us. Thank you, Mr. Santosh Bhavan Rao and FFE scholars Rishikesh, Varsha, Nishant, Mayur, and FFE alumni, Mr. Ganesh, for sharing your insightful videos. Thank you, respected facilitators, once again for your valuable time. Thank you so much for being very passionate about our programs and being passionate about what we are doing. Thank you so much. And special thanks to the students and alumni present here. We know these are very hard times for all of you. You're spending your days and nights on online classes and a lot of other online programs, and still you could take out time to spend some time with us here today. So thank you so much. And last but not the least, thank you FFE management for your continuous support, and to the FFE team for organizing this event. Special thanks to Priyanka, Janice, Anju, and Sharada for the seamless coordination and ensuring that this event is successful. Thank you all very much. We would also like, hello sir, thank you. We would shortly begin with our Q&A session. We've already received a lot of questions from the students, and which we will take in a while. But before we begin the Q&A session, Pratna, I would request you to please share the poll results with the students of our second poll. Can you please share that?
Yeah, Tanvi. So it's on the screen right now. And maybe this will also be a cue for us to move on to the Q&A session. The first question being the most important, we can see that 53% of them have not applied for their scholarship renewal as yet. And so we will have a session at the end of Q&A where we will address all scholarship related queries. So we can see that the training programs, have helped all the scholars, and we have these questions of the laptop and smartphone, where most of them own a smartphone. And yes, so we can also see that most of you all are connected to us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and we'll talk about it in the Q&A session. So we'll open out for Q&A, Tanvi.
Thank you, Pratna. And before we move on to our Q&A session, we have with us various team members of FFE joining us from skills development, from mentorship, and from scholarship. We have with us Jennifer Jigam, who is joining us from the trainings and skill development team of FFE. Jennifer, if you're there, I would like you to come and address the students for a minute, please.
Yeah, good evening all. Thanks, Tanvi. So I'm here to address the engineering scholars about the AMCAT test and the related training FFE offers. So everyone works hard to get the dream jobs, but however, the demand for job is definitely higher than the supply of job opportunities. Therefore, as our Adam Gaurang Shah mentioned, you need something that will get you into the limelight. So this is where AMCAT comes into picture. Now, what is AMCAT? AMCAT is an employability exam which judges your skills and your readiness to join the corporate workforce. This assessment shows you the reality of where you are and how polished your skills are. You can get a better understanding of both your strength and weakness. So let me tell you that this AMCAT test will be the similar test you write in your first level of interview in most of your placements. So unless you clear this round, there is no way of you portraying your technical talent to the recruiter, which you've been studying and mastering all these 4 years. So FFE takes the responsibility of identifying your areas of improvement, and hence we roll out this English and aptitude programs, which is required to clear the AMCAT test. So kindly take these trainings very seriously, as these are life-changing opportunities. Make use of the programs given to you. Show improvements in the upcoming AMCAT test. By this, you can groom yourself with more confidence and become corporate ready. And in the Q&A session, I can see a lot of questions coming up about placements and internships. So FFE does not have a structured placement program by itself, but we definitely reach out to our corporate connects and we try to find opportunity for our scholars. So once we find an opportunity, if there is an opening anywhere, we will reach out to the correct set of students. So I request all the students to keep checking your mails, because that is the first mode of communication we do to the students. So in case you miss that mail, you might miss an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny. I think it will be very helpful for the students to know about the scholarship, the skills programs that we are offering. And those of you who don't know, you can reach out to Jennifer and her team for more information on that. One more request, that there will be a feedback form popping up after we end this session, and we request you all to please fill up that form. It will help us improve our virtual sessions which are lined up in the future. Thank you so much. So now we begin with our Q&A sessions, and we'll start taking the questions. A lot of questions that I see are coming again for the scholarship thing. And what is the scholarship procedure for this year? The students, most of the students want to know what is the scholarship procedure for this year, because we're not able to receive any certificates and college fees, documents, etc. because of the pandemic. Shubha?
Yeah. Hi, Tanvi. Would you like to finish the other questions before I start?
Yes. Your volume is very low. Just increase your volume.
Yes, so I think there will be a lot of questions which will come up regarding the scholarship, and we'll have to take those questions separately. So let us just finish with the other questions. There's a question, Sudha, and probably you can answer this. Varun Gattani, he says, what difference FFE has experienced while operating in US and in India?
Sorry, I had, please remember that FFE, the scholarship program is only in India. So FFE USA operates where they are able to raise funds, and the funds that are raised from various donors all over the US is actually sent to FFE India Trust, and we use it to award scholarships. So FFE India Trust works very closely with FFE USA. We are committed to the same mission, which is to award scholarships, and we work very closely. Both organizations raise funds, and the entire program is run only in India from Bangalore, and it's only one scholarship program. And today, of course, like we mentioned before, it supports engineering, medicine, law, and BPharm, and we have other programs like the skills training and the mentoring. I hope this answers your questions. So all the money that FFE USA raises comes to FFE India Trust only for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. So students are asking if there's any kind of assistance and guidance FFE provides to the scholars of UPSC Civil Services examination.
I'd like to say that currently we don't, because I think we're very focused on just these 4 disciplines and for the basic degree program. And I'm hoping that, you all will be able to take care of yourselves beyond the initial undergraduate degree. So right now we don't support any kind of coaching or training other courses.
Yes, thank you, Sudha. But we have started with the law program, and there is a question. Students, they want to know more about this law program. Sudha, would you like to answer that?
Yes. So the law program was started last year with a very generous donation from one lawyer from GLC Mumbai, and it is matched. His contribution has been matched by Omidyar Network. And our very first year, we have committed to supporting 17 law scholars. The idea is that we hope it will grow like the engineering and the medical program. And this is the first year that we have also rolled out the mentoring program where lawyers, rather law students in year 3, 4, and the final year of the law degree program are matched to lawyers who are practicing right now. And we hope that interaction will really prepare them for practicing law and litigation in India. So that is the vision, that we will grow the program as we get more funding, and we will expand the program, and hopefully we will have large numbers in the coming years.
So that I can also just see a question from a facilitator. Can we extend support of FFE to the science students? Mr. Arun, he's asking us, at least from IISER and IISE, because he has received such requests from these students.
Yes, thank you for that question. I think what's happened is we have such a large number of qualifying applicants that come every year to FFE in just the programs we support. And we are not able to fund several thousand students each year because we don't have the funds. And I wish we could, but currently our policy is just restricted to these 4 disciplines, but we will take your suggestion, and hopefully over time, our funding situation will be much better, and we will be able to expand our support to other disciplines as well.
Thank you, Sudha. So a lot of mentoring questions are also coming up, Sudha. Would you like to answer them as well? Students are want to know about the mentorship program, and some of them are asking if they've already registered for the mentorship program, but they have not heard back.
Okay. So the mentoring program is only designed for engineering students in year 3. And I know our team has sent out a request, and we've got over 600 students who've signed up. We are going through the process of finding mentors and matching students to mentors. It is possible that every student may not have a mentor. And what we want to do in such cases is to provide group sort of mentoring sessions for students who may not have an opportunity to be matched to a mentor one-on-one. So we are going to work to make sure that all of you benefit to the extent possible, so that all of you have an opportunity to participate in a program where you are closely linked to an industry expert, and you can ask all your questions, and they are able to provide an exposure, all kinds of opportunities for you all in the field. So we will do our best to make sure that happens.
Thank you, Sudha. So questions are also coming from the students who want to know whether there is any kind of guidance available because they want to pursue their masters and they want to go for higher studies. Pratna, would you like to answer that and how they can be connected with our network of alumni?
Yes. So the alumni can be reached, we are connected on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And we are aggressively trying to, build this drive for scholars to connect with alums and reach out. So if you're looking to complete your higher studies in any particular country, you can connect to an alum already working there, or maybe pursuing their master's or higher education there. And this will be possible only if you connect with us on our social media platforms, on both LinkedIn and Facebook. And we'll put up the links on the chat box, so please feel free and do connect with us as soon as you get off this meeting.
So I would just like to add to what Pratna said, that we have alumni today all over the world pursuing different fields. Many of them have got into civil services. Many of them have pursued their master's degrees in India and outside India. So like Pratna said, it's very important for you to be able to connect with them through LinkedIn and Facebook. So please use that opportunity. And alumni are very willing and happy to help you all.
Yes. And Jennifer, there are skills and trainings related questions as well. Students are asking if there are any programs that are offered by Coursera. I'm hoping that they are not aware of the programs that we are actually offering through Coursera and through various other platforms. And also some of the students are asking about how can they improve their aptitude, and what is FFE doing to help that?
Yes. So yes, we do offer Coursera programs, but that is for the third year students who have cleared AMCAT midline test. So this is one program which we give only to students who have cleared AMCAT midline and has shown an improvement. So that is why I was again stressing on AMCAT. So I request all the students who are in the second year now to make use of the opportunities given in the English and the aptitude program, and thereby do the next year AMCAT well, so that you can take up the courses in the Coursera platform. And regarding aptitude, yes, from February, there is aptitude program that will start for the second years in engineering. I'm sure this question would have come from a second year student. So please wait, we will roll out this program to all second years from February. And I can see some questions related to courses for pharma students. There are some pharma students this year, and we have launched training for pharma students also. We have started the English program in August, and from next week we are starting Coursera program for all our pharma students. Today the mails have gone from our team, so kindly check your mails again, so you will get more information in your mails.
Thank you, Jennifer. MBBS students are also asking whether there is any program, any coaching programs for the MBBS students as well during this lockdown period.
Yes. So as of now, we do not have any program for the MBBS students. Reason being, last year we rolled out an English program, but your seniors found it very difficult to cope up, considering your timetable is very hectic. So we couldn't do that and roll out to others. But we are, yes, planning for one. If we get an opportunity, we will definitely roll out an English program.
And Pratna, I think you can also elaborate on the webinars that we've been doing for MBBS students.
Yes, so far we have conducted 3 webinars for MBBS scholars specifically. And, the best part is these have been conducted by our alumni. So they have been very fruitful, very interesting, and all the scholars who have attended these events have really benefited from it. So I request all MBBS scholars, if you haven't attended any of these sessions, we will be planning more in the coming months. So please ensure you do make time and attend one of these sessions. Tanvi, I can just see another question for somebody who's asking, what to do if their previous facilitator is no longer connected to FFE, right? So Shubha, do you want to take that question now?
Pardon me?
What if their previous facilitator is no longer connected to FFE, is what the scholar has said.
Yeah, so please write to scholarships@ffe.org. We will assign a new facilitator for you, or we will, take up the role of the facilitator. No issues with that.
Shubha, can you be louder?
Yeah. Shall I take on the scholarship questions now, Tanvi? Are we done with the rest of it?
Sorry, Shubha, there's one more question regarding civil engineering. I will just answer that.
Go ahead.
What are the civil engineering programs provided by FFE? So we do not have any core engineering programs organized other than computer science, but now we are associated with Ananya Foundation. I think most of you would have received mails about that, especially civil engineering students. We conducted over 5 to 6 sessions in civil engineering alone. So in case you want to be a part of this program, please write to ffe_training@ffe.org. These are correlated programs, and I'm sure civil engineering students will make benefit out of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Yes, Shubha, I think we should start with the scholarship questions.
Okay. I will share a short this one presentation, which will answer most of your questions. I hope you all can see my screen. Okay. The last date for creating your renewal application is 31st October 2020. I request all of you to create your application with basic documents, because even if some documents are not with you, no problem, you can upload them later. But create your application with the basic information and the basic documents which are available with you. Okay, so you can see that attestation is not required for this financial year, considering that it's a pandemic year. And I have given you a short table here stating how many people have not applied yet. From Gujarat, you can see 178 students have not yet applied. Maharashtra, 120 students have not yet applied. I urge you all to please create your application. If you do not create your application before 31st October, then there will be no chance for you to create your application. But you can always upload your documents at a later point. No issues with that. And especially for engineering students, please have a look at this. We understand that your even semester exams may not have been conducted, and so you do not have your grade cards for even semester. And some of the colleges may not have asked you to pay any fees for the financial year 2020-21. So what do? You please create your renewal application with the following documents. We are not asking for you for any bona fide certificate this year. Please upload your college ID card. And if there is any registration document requested by a college which states that, in which year you're studying, your name, the name of your college, please attach that along with your college ID card and upload. Your bank passbook copy you can upload, that is with you, so you can upload a bank passbook copy. Third document, estimated of statement expenses, if it is available with you. If the college has issued a new statement of expenses for 2021, please upload that. That will be great. If you do not have, for some reason, if your college has not provided you, then you can upload of 2019-20 also. It will work. And coming to the oath and pledge document, we have made a few changes this year. Please download that from your renewal application. If you have not downloaded it from the renewal application for some reason, I have again sent out to all of you through an email. So please download from there, sign it, and then upload. Same with the parent declaration. A new version has been provided this year. Please upload these new versions. Okay. Secondly, the letter of thanks, that is also to the donor. If you know your donor's name, write your donor's name and thank him, giving them a little bit information about your academic progress, the extracurricular activities that you have undertaken during your last academic year. If you do not know your donor, you can address as FFE donor and please write the letter. The format of this particular document is Microsoft Word, not PDF. All other documents are PDF except this one. This one is a Word document. Coming to your odd semester marks card, grade card, I'm sure all of you have your completed your odd semester, so you have your odd semester grade card with you. In case you don't have, please download it from your college portal. While you download, take care to see that your name, your roll number, and your college name is coming on top. Take a screenshot of that completely. All your subjects should be mentioned, the credit points as well as your grades should be mentioned very clearly in that. Please upload a copy of that. If your event semester has been completed by the college, download the event semester grade card and upload that for us. If it is not available with you, it is all right, leave it empty. We will wait for you to upload. Even after October 31st, it is fine. You can always log in into your application and upload the event semester grade card. Similarly, for fees paid receipts, we understand that you're still at home, you have not gone to college, you have not paid hostel and mess bills, which is okay. Please upload college paid receipts, which are with the date, which are dated after June 2020. If the college has not requested any fees yet, then we will wait, leave that space empty, let your application be in incomplete status. Do not go and submit it and make it document uploaded each time, because it is it is a tedious process for us to keep on making it as document missing. Leave it incomplete. Once you get your documents, you can upload and then press on submit. Then we will look at your application. That was for the engineering students. I hope I've answered most of your questions. So here I have shown a screenshot of how to, basically create your renewal application. See, like you see, year in which studying, you please, even though your current year may not be over for some reasons because of the pandemic, choose your next year, because your scholarship will be valid for the next year only. For example, if a student is still in first year MBBS and you have to renew your application, choose year 2 SEM 3. Okay, and you please choose grading system, class, or CGPA, whatever is apt for you, and leave this percentage empty as of now, because you don't have your marks cards with you. If you have, you can enter this field. If you don't have, no need to enter anything in this field, because it's not a mandatory field. The rest of it you can enter. If you're unsure about anything, please enter some details, because these are mandatory fields. We can change it at a later point. Okay, and I hope all of you have contacted your facilitators by phone this time. We are requesting you to call your facilitator. Please enter those details here when you have called. Okay, and create your basic application. So this is an indication for you to create your basic application, maybe with some basic documents. If you do not have, just the application is good. Coming to medical students, we understand that the first year MBBS students are having a problem. Their year is not complete because their exams have not been conducted. The MCI has issued a guideline saying that once the college reopens, only then within 2 months you are supposed to have your exams. And I understand that the results will be post that. No issues. Create your application with the basic documents like I have been telling you. We will wait for your exams to be conducted. After your exams are conducted, after you receive your grade cards, upload your grade cards and the fees paid receipts, after the college asks you to pay the receipts. Okay. For second year MBBS students, we understand that you have 3 semesters and you're in the middle of the year. So your first year results will work for us. Please upload those results. And even fees receipts, if you have anything which you paid after June 2020, it is fine. If you have not paid anything, and if the whole term fees has been paid in the last year itself, no issues with that. We will consider the first year receipt, so you can upload that. This is a special case only for MBBS second year students. And I don't think third year students have any problems. You would have received your second year results, and if your online classes are going on for your next year, then you would have paid some receipts depending upon your college. If you have paid, please upload. If you have not paid any fees, we will wait. Leave that that particular document. Do not upload anything as of now. You can upload once you pay your fees. All right. Okay, coming to the don'ts, please do not do these things. Do not use a mobile phone for creating your application, because a lot of fields do not work properly. The application is not compatible on the mobile phone. Use a laptop or a computer, and upload only receipts which you have paid after June 2020. We cannot consider any receipts of last year. Even hostel and mess, if you have not paid any amount, it is okay. Do not upload last year receipts. We cannot consider them. Okay, I hope I'm clear on this point. Do not upload any last year receipts. Only receipts which have been paid after June 2020 will be accepted. If you do not have a bona fide certificate, we understand, because you did not go to college yet. Please upload your college ID card. And if there is any document from your college, if your college has issued any registration document when you have registered for the next year, you can club it along with the college ID card and upload it, which will have the name of your college, your year in which you're studying, and your name, your roll number, and all these details. That will be very useful for us. Oath and pledge, like I already told you, please take the new version of the document and upload. Please do not upload the old version, because it is a lot of work for us to keep on telling you to upload the new version. I have sent it over email to all of you. I hope you'll have received. If you have not, write to us on scholarships@ffe.org. We will send it to you again. And on your grade cards, which you are downloading from the college portal, we request you, your name, your roll number, your college name, your year in which studying should be clearly visible. Please understand that these documents will be submitted to the donor If this information is missing, then we cannot give it to the donor and it will affect your scholarship. So please ensure that these information is available on the grade cards while you download it from the college portal. Thank you. I hope I have answered all your questions. Nevertheless, if I have missed out something, please write to us in scholarships@ffe.org and we will answer to the best of our efforts. Thank you. Tanvi, please.
Thank you, Shubha. We have some more questions on the question box, Shubha.
Yeah.
And most of them are coming from MBBS students. And some students are also saying that they have problems submitting it. They have uploaded all the documents, but once they press the submit button, it doesn't go.
Correct. Okay. So if you're facing the problem that when you click on submit and it still gives you that error, you upload missing documents, you need to replace all your documents in one session and then click on submit button, which is provided at the end of the application, and then click on the submit button, which is provided in the middle of the application.
Yes. Shubha, there are some questions. The students are saying that they're paying the fees in installments. So how can they get the receipts for that?
No issues. We always consider the fee receipts and as well as the expense statement of expenses document. We look at both these documents before providing your scholarship. Even if you have paid it in installments, just upload whatever is been paid in the recent past. If you have not paid anything in the recent past and if you have paid completely in the last year, please write to us. We will guide you how exactly to go about that particular thing. Yeah, Tanvi, what else? I think there is a specific question from Nashik.
Yes.
Did not receive any grade cards. I have answered your question in my presentation. We will wait for your grade cards, but create your application with other documents. Once you receive your grade cards, you can upload. Suppose there has been a mass promotion in your college. If your college has announced mass promotion, in that case, you will probably receive a letter from your college saying that you've been promoted to the next year. Please upload that letter in the place of the grade card. We will look at that and then we will process your application.
Yes. And Shubha, I think there's a very important question that we must address. MBBS students is asking that I'm a third year student, but can I upload my second year mark sheets both for even and odd semester? And I think some BTech students may feel the same.
Right, Tanvi. So yeah, for third year MBBS students, second year mark sheets are good, grade cards are good. Please upload that in both odd and even semester placeholders.
Yes.
And for final year, Shubha?
Yeah, the MBBS third year has 2 parts.
Okay.
So the second year will work.
Okay.
Jennifer, there's again a question on the mock test interviews. Ma'am, can we get a mock test? Sorry, I lost that question.
Here
it's about a mock interview. If we are in the third year, so can we prepare well? So can we get the mock test in the third year so we can prepare well?
Yes, so feedback taken. We will work on this. If there is an opportunity, if it is possible, we will definitely roll this out maybe from January for the third year students.
Shubha, another question. It's about the format of the document. They say the letter of thanks to the donor. It shows upload document format, but it has generated an MS Word application already. Abhishek Pagdal is asking this question.
One second. Sorry, Tanvi, what is that? The letter of thanks has to be in a Word document. The letter of thanks is a Word document. We are not asking for a PDF document. Abhishek, please create your letter in Word document and upload. It will accept the document. If you're facing an issue, write to us at scholarships@ffe.org. We will help you upload.
Okay. Shubha, there is a Rucha who's asking, I'm a third year MBBS student and our academic year started on 3rd February 2020. So I've paid the whole fees in February 2020 itself. But now that you're only accepting receipts after June, what should I do?
Yeah, no problem with that. Since you have completed in February, you please upload whatever you have paid for this year in February. We will look at it, consider that, and if there is any issue, we will call you. I hope that answers your question, Rucha.
Shubha, there's Dhruv who's saying that he neither have his bona fide nor his ID card. So can I upload last year's bona fide?
Dhruv, we cannot accept the last year's bona fide certificate. That will not be correct. What I would request you is, if your college has asked you to register for the next year, then there would be probably a registration kind of a document from your college, which will say, which will certify in which year you're studying. Please upload that, because we need some kind of a proof that you have moved to the next year. Bona fide is for that, so we need something like that. We cannot accept last year's bona fide.
Okay, so Shubha, there is Yash. He's asking, what if someone is absent in exams? Should it be considered as failed?
That particular, we will have to take on a case-by-case basis. Please write to us. I will message my email ID also on the chat box. Please write to me specifically what is the issue, and I will answer your questions.
And Shubha, for once, I think you can address all the students, because they are asking that I have uploaded my last year's fee receipt. Will it be accepted?
Like I already told you, students, we cannot accept any receipts of last year, except for some cases of medical students who are paid after their term is over. But for most of you, we need fee receipts which have been paid after June, after your college has started. So please do not upload any receipts of last year. We cannot accept that.
Okay. Saurabh is asking a question. Ma'am, last year I was living in a flat type accommodation, but I am unable to collect my things from the flat. So I'm paying rent now. Also, how can I mention that expense in the application form, the rent expense?
I hope you're getting some kind of a receipt for the rent you're paying, Saurabh. Please upload that rent receipts which you have paid after June, July. 2 receipts of July, August, or something will be enough for us to process your application.
Anubhakar Rangre's, I have no bona fide. I have ID card, but it is my hostel's ID card. Now I am in my home. What should I do?
What ID card?
He has his hostel's ID card.
Oh. Like I said, please try to get.
No, I think what they're trying to ask is they have an ID card, but it is in their hostel and home. Yeah, that's a question.
Right. Like I said, if you do not have your college ID card, and if you don't have a bona fide, request your college to provide you with a bona fide if possible. Please write to the college, ask them to provide you a bona fide certificate. Tell them it is a requirement for the scholarship. If they provide you, well and good, please upload that. Else, when you register for your next year, when you pay some kind of a fees to the college, if they have issued some kind of a letter to you saying, mentioning which year you are, which semester you're moved to, you can upload that instead of the bona fide and the college ID card. I hope that answers your question.
Maggam Akash is asking a question, Shubha, that they are not being provided any grade cards from the college, but the college provides a long PDF document of all the students in college. And can I upload the screenshot of that?
Yeah, please upload the screenshot of that, but please highlight your name and your roll number and your marks obtained in that particular document. Highlight that and upload that so that we can keep that as reference.
We'll be taking a few more questions. Those of you who think that their questions have been answered, you are free to leave. And those of you who still want to know more about the scholarship programs and have more queries, they can stay back. So some of the questions are coming from...
Tanvi, I think even Gaurang is here. Maybe Gaurang, you can also, you can leave the meeting if you would like. Thank you so much, Gaurang. Really, it was a great session. Yeah, and thank you for agreeing to do this. I don't want to take much of your time. I think the Q&A will go on. Thank you so
Gaurang.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Gaurang.
Bye, everyone.
All of us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Shubha, one student wants to know what is the specific meaning of creating application. Does it mean we have to fill that percentage and date of call and all that details, or we have to submit application details for creating application before 31st October? I think you can just elaborate on that. What does creating an application mean here?
Okay. I have given, we have sent across an email. I hope you can see my screen. And we have sent across how to log in into your application. Please go to our website, https://ffe.org. Click on login and login as scholar. And there will be a login screen which comes up. Put in your email ID, registered email ID, which is with us. And then a temporary link will be sent to your email ID inbox. Once you click on that temporary link, it will open up your application. When your application is open, as you can see on my screen, there is a ticker which is running here, which says, click here to renew your application. Please click on that. It will bring up this box. You need to enter the details here. You please enter the year in which you're going to go into the next year, and what kind of grading system you have, whether it is class or CGPA. Then if you know your marks, you can enter it in this text box. If you do not know, please leave it empty. If you have not failed in any subjects, if you do not know as of now, you can right now fill no. We can correct it at a later point. And I think you can answer all these questions if there is any change in your annual income of your parents, whether you're receiving AICTE fee waiver from the government, or if you're receiving any other scholarship, and your facilitator meet details. When you fill in this much of the details, your renewal application is completed. You have to, after that, upload the documents. So for uploading the documents, like I told you all, upload with all the documents which you currently have. The basic documents, I'm sure you'll have passbook copy, your college ID card, your statement of expenses, oath and pledge. With these documents, you can create your application. If you do not have the grade cards, if you do not have the receipts, leave those placeholders empty. Your application will be incomplete. Once you receive them, you can upload there. Then I think I have kind of covered. Yeah, I think the questions are going to be repetitive.
Yeah. So there's one more question. The students, they're asking, I'm unable to replace my documents.
If you're unable to replace your documents, it means your application is already being processed. So do not worry about that.
Yes.
Okay, so I think there's one question on top. I can see in the law program, on which exam does FFE give scholarship? Is there any specific, the first question that's there?
Pratna, I can see that. For law program, we are looking at students who are giving CLAT as their entrance exams to get into any of the NLUs. We also consider some of the other university colleges. Right now, we are, we have a very small law cohort, so we are considering very specific colleges. Please let us know on email which college you're coming from. We will respond to you whether we can consider or not.
Okay, and the next two questions also on top, Shubha, maybe. What if their first year is not completed before 31st?
So like I answered this question, if your first year is not completed, no issues. You just create your application and with, choosing second year as the option. And then we will wait for your grade cards and your fee receipts to be uploaded later.
Yeah. So Shubha, I think you can also explain the students that we will be sending them the FAQs where it will answer most of the queries, the generic queries, and
Yes, we whatever I have briefed just now, the same information will be sent to you by an FAQ document. I will send it out to you by email. So please check your emails. Students request, kind request from us, from the team here, is to check your emails very often, because that is our only means of communication with you. We will answer all your queries over email. I will send you an FAQ document which will answer all these queries. And we'll also upload a video tutorial on the same FAQ. We will send you the link through various means, through WhatsApp groups and through email. So you can look at it, and I'm sure you'll be able to renew your application. Request is, do not worry. We are here to help you. We are going to provide you scholarship. There have been delays, but we cannot help it. We need the grade cards. We need the fee receipts, but we will surely provide you with your scholarship.
Thank you, Shubha. Pratna, do you see any more questions, or should we wrap up this round?
Yeah, I think, does it affect their scholarship if their CGPA is less than 8?
All right.
Yeah.
No, your scholarship will not be affected if your CGPA is less than 8. We only look at if you have passed all your exams. If you have failed in any of one of the subjects, then we provide you with only 50% of the scholarship. Because it is a merit and means scholarship, we request you all to at least pass your exams.
Okay. And this is not a question, it is a suggestion. Courses and online trainings provided by FFE is really helpful, but it should be implemented at the right time. Like we need skills at the end of the second year to apply for internships. So those Coursera courses may be helpful at the starting of second year. Also at the starting of fourth year, we're already attending company interviews. So attending mock interview at this time is not helpful. So at the end of third year, mock interviews may be helpful. Thank you so much for that feedback. Then feedback has been noted, and we will definitely work on this feedback. Thank you. So I think we have answered most of the questions, and I just want to inform the scholars that if you have your FFE friends who are studying in the states of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, or Karnataka, we'll be having virtual sessions for them as well. You can inform them and they can come and join us. Any of the students who you think would want to attend from other states also, please let us know and we will send them the invite for the next virtual events where we can take their queries also. So Sudha, would you like to say a few words before we wrap up for today?
Yes, I want to say a great big thank you. We've had a fantastic turnout today of students, of alumni, of our facilitators, and our donors. It is the biggest event that we've had so far in our virtual event series. Thank you for making this such a success. I hope that we've been able to address some of your concerns, and we are always there to, for you all to reach out to us. The team is always ready to help, and I want to thank our team, Tanvi, Prarthana, Anandita, of course, Shubha, Sushma, Priyanka, Taruna, Srividya, all of you for participating and making this big event possible, and making it really, really successful, so we could address all our stakeholders and make this a very meaningful event for everyone. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. I think it was equally important for the students.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and it was great to have you with us.
And I really appreciate your efforts to reaching out to students, scholars. It's very nice. I'm very thankful to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, scholars. Thank you for being with us for almost 2 hours over that. So we'll see you soon, and hopefully next time we'll see you around in your physical forms, wherever you are. We would love to meet you again. But until then, we will definitely keep on meeting you through these kind of virtual platforms. We've been conducting a lot of webinars, seminars for you students. Corporates have been partnering with us to conduct a lot of very wonderful workshops. And we keep on sending you information about those workshops. So whenever you get a chance, please do attend those workshops, and just keep upskilling and take care of yourself. We'll meet you soon. Please take care and start filling the scholarship forms if you're not already. Please reach out to us for any other help. Thank you and have a very good night. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the feedback form will also come up. So please fill the feedback survey when you leave this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.